Are you battling with chaos, confusion, lots of noise, and just manic mania going on in your life? Even if it's a small amount of daily interruption to your peace, maybe you're having an experience similar to me where it just feels like there's a lot of noise. You feel maybe a little bit overwhelmed. Well, when you are manifesting, when you are creating an amazing life or on a spiritual journey, it doesn't mean that the world outside of you stops so that you can have your spiritual joyful experience. Welcome to day 19. Today, we are talking about maintaining your manifestation momentum in the midst of chaos. Depending on when you're watching this video, you may be observing a shift taking place in the world as we have just seen a new president elected into the United States government. And on the news, it's just a frenzy about all the different laws that are changing and people are feeling concerned. At the same time, there was news about a TikTok ban, and you had creators that were stressed out that they weren't going to be making money because they weren't going to be on TikTok. And when you turn on social media, or even when you open maybe your messaging app like a WhatsApp, you may be getting a lot of these conversations coming at you about people and how they're feeling, and just the energy of chaos and the energy of confusion and the energy of fear. And it has an impact on your energy and how you feel and the dream that you are trying to create. Now, what I want to say, guys, is that this is normal. While you may be seeing, kingdoms come and go and leaders rise and apps fall, you may be seeing all of that and feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so abnormal. This is just horrible. And you're having all these negative responses. The fact of the matter is that life is going to continue moving and happening while you are in the midst of your spiritual journey, while you're in the midst of your spiritual growth, while you're in the midst of creating the magnificent life that you want. And since it is a natural part of things, wars and discomfort and dis-ease are a natural part of what may happen in your world at any given point in time, you have to make sure that you are in touch with where you are and what you want, so that you are not at the effect of all the things happening in the world around you. Sometimes it doesn't have to be very far away. It doesn't have to be a whole app coming to a pause and causing drama with, creators who may be your friends. Sometimes it can just be in your own household. It can just be situations at home where maybe you're in an unstable or unhappy marriage, or there's things going on with your children if you have kids. It may be in your office where you're going to the office environment and it's just toxic and you're struggling because it's just toxic. You have to be able to manage your energy so that you can continue to build momentum around your manifestation in the midst of everything that may be going on around you. You have to be able to find a way to create stability in the midst of the chaos. And there's a couple of ways that you can actually do this. First things, of course, we've been talking a lot about energy. I said energy like 10 times since I started talking to you today. So the first thing is managing your energy. You have to recognize that your power, your internal exuberance, joy, peace isn't dependent on external circumstances. It may be affected by it, but it's not dependent on it. And this was something that took me a minute to grasp. It took me a while, and even sometimes now I still get stuck in what's happening externally and how it's affecting me internally. Usually what happens is something will happen externally, or somebody will say something or do something, and it triggers a response in me, makes me think something that is like, I'm upset or I'm angry or I'm disappointed or I'm sad because of what has happened. I'm afraid. And then that creates a ripple effect of emotions and responses. Now, guys, I know what you're saying. This is normal stuff. This is normal. You can't help it. You feel like, well, if somebody is doing something over there, I can't always help what is happening. I understand that. But what I want to challenge you with is to be able to see these instances of chaos of challenge as opportunities for energy mastery and as opportunities for you to actually create something. One of the things that's been happening to me is, as we've been observing just the changes with the tech companies and who's in charge and who's on top versus who isn't, I've been thinking to myself, well, where do I need to be investing? What stocks do I need to be buying? Do I need to be selling out my TikTok and buying more of Meta? Like, I'm thinking about utilizing the confusion that seems to be happening with everybody else as an opportunity for me. And the only way I'm able to do that is by looking at my energy and seeing how I'm responding to it energetically. With the recent elections and the inauguration of the new president, one of the things that was happening to me energetically is I would be going onto social media to check my messages and to look at my posts. And there would just be this flurry of things coming up in my feed about all the different laws that are coming into play and all the people that are complaining and worried and the different comments about the changes in the government. And it was starting to make me feel unsafe, fearful, concerned, worried. And so I decided, no, okay, we're going to just pause on the social media. We're going to use our scheduling app more, and we're going to make sure that we're not connecting with all of the drama. I have gotten accustomed to, so in love with, very dependent on not having drama in my life. The less drama, the better for me. I don't want to get caught up in the stories with everybody else and everything else. I did that already. I had a life that was filled with drama. And it's exciting. It's exciting. Whole heap of things to talk about. But it is stressful as hell. So I made a decision. I said, all right, we're going to slowly see how we can decompress, how we can shift away from all of the drama. And while my life may be quite a bit slower and maybe to some even boring, let me tell you, the peace of mind is priceless. Give it to me any day. And so I'm encouraging you that as you are going through your manifestation journey, that you use it as an opportunity to see where you can build up that energy. You can use your energy to guide you in grace and in peace of mind, that you're moving away from the impact of the external and focusing more on the joy and the peace of the internal. Now, one of the things that I want you to recognize also, which is important in how you think about this, duality is how we live. I have been talking about energy and we've been talking about manifestation and the different laws. Think about it, guys. There is always two sides to a coin. There is an up and there is a down. With everything in our universal experience, there are polar opposites to our experience, right? And so what you have to recognize is that duality is a part of our life. You have the dark or the shadow, and then you have the light. You have the moon, and then you have the sun. You have day, then you have night. It's a natural part of our existence. And so it helps us with recognizing that since it's a natural part of our existence, maybe I don't have to be stressing out myself so much when I'm feeling the push of the negative side of duality, the part that I don't like. When you recognize that it's a natural part of your progression, it's a natural part of what is going to actually help to elevate you and help to bring you closer to your highest self, then you recognize it may not be such a bad thing for me to focus my energy in a proper direction. Your manifestations can progress even in the midst of setbacks. Your manifestations can progress even in the midst of chaos. Now, the third thing I'm going to point out to you is what we call emotional alchemy. And this is where you're going to be able to convert some of those challenging feelings, some of those contrasting feelings or experiences that you may be having into emotions that will fuel your purpose, that will fuel your manifestations. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using the contrast of your outer world and how it's affecting your inner world, whatever contrast is coming up for you, you're going to use that and transition it into clarity. And you're going to be able to find the gift in every situation that you encounter. And so what I'm going to teach you is an exercise that I've taught so many different times. And it's actually, I think, included in your Year of Intention workbook. So if you haven't downloaded the workbook yet, you can download it to get this particular exercise. And this exercise is the clarity exercise. And the way that it works is you get a sheet of paper and you draw a line down the center of the paper and a line at the top. On one side, you're going to write contrast, and on the other side, you're going to write clarity. It's always easier for us to identify the things we don't like in our lives. It's just human nature, and that's okay. You know, I talked to you guys about the 5 C's: complaining, criticizing, commiserating, concern. I've talked to you about those 5 C's before. Guess what you're going to do now? You're going to actually use your 5 C's. All the things you're complaining about, all the things you're concerned about, all the things that you have been commiserating with your friends about that you don't like, all of those things, you're going to write them in the contrast section. Just do a dump. Just do a long list of things that say, I don't like this. This doesn't feel right. In my contrast, I've written noise and distraction by social media, feeling overwhelmed and rushed, feeling out of time. So I've written those contrasting things down. Now the magic happens, the alchemy in that emotional space happens when you go over to clarity now and you say what you want instead. It's literally like the opposite game. If over here you are saying noise and distraction from social media, obviously it's because I would like calm. I would like peace. And I can immediately ask myself the question, oh, what would that be like? Maybe that would be like going on a silent retreat like the one I'm about to go on in another week. Hello, right? So you write down, just dump your 5 C's, your circumstances, the things that are there that are in your space that you don't like, concern, anything like that. You write it down, complaints, write it down. And then create the emotional alchemy by putting down the clarity items on the next side. That is your challenge for today. And I want you to spend a few moments. It can literally be 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. I don't think you need more than that to write down your contrast and create clarity for yourself. Allow yourself to build the momentum for manifestation, even in the midst of chaos. I know, guys, that we are winding down this challenge, and now is the time to step into the real world fully without having my day-to-day little love notes and guidance. But you can always come back and watch this video because I know that you're going to keep growing. And while you're growing, you're going to keep glowing. So 2 more days to go. You've done amazingly well. Thank you so much for joining the Mindful Momentum Challenge Day 19. And I will see you tomorrow where we're going to be talking about manifestation and money. All right. Take care, everybody. Until next time.